Chapter 851! Fuck it. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Pod-D-Cast, here on The Procrastinators. I'm the best guy ever, and he is Hypocrite.
Yes, I am.
And let's not fuck around. We're all about efficiency today. This week's chapter is Chapter 851, Tab End.
A reference to Baggin from The Lord of the Rings.
I actually, just before we started recording, I had no idea what a fucking tab end was, but good old Urban Dictionary helped me out with this definition. The end of a used cigarette, often found floating in the bottom of a urinal. But in this case, it's only the beginning part that's relevant, so we'll see where there's a cigarette.
Is this like foreshadowing for a urinal scene in the next chapter?
Yeah, next chapter is going to be urinal. Sanji's going to be face down in a urinal. Okay, so... Let's get into Gabe, if you would. Take us away.
Yeah, so right from the end of last chapter where Pudding is saying evil things and Sanji's listening.
And we were saying that it could be all a ruse. Could be a big old ruse. Yep,
and now we get to see a bit more of what's going on.
We do.
Sanji is still just sort of like, ugh, what's going on? And Pudding is, in the first page, just boasting still. She's got a gun. And they're showing off the bullet power. I don't know.
Yeah, they made a lot of
caliber,
emphasis.
Whatever that means.
It's a cool gun. So they're introducing like weaponry specifically to counter the quote-unquote iron bodies of the Vinsmoke with their weird fucking exoskeleton, which I guess is a real thing. So like there was reference to their exoskeleton was the thing.
And
yeah. Does Sanji have a fucking exoskeleton? What does this mean? I have no idea.
Is he got like adamantine bones like Wolverine or something?
Okay, but you would not call bones a fucking exoskeleton. Those are an endoskeleton. That's what that word means. It's the opposite of what humans have. Bugs have an exoskeleton.
I think endoskeleton it doesn't sound as cool as exoskeleton.
I suspect a translation fuckery. I suspect somebody fucked up this translation.
Maybe.
And we're all getting taken for a ride by
I do think that
stream.
Generally people use exoskeleton all the time just because it has an X in it, and skeleton X is a really cool.
It does sound cool.
Edgy term.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, so there's a special gun here that they just went out of their way to say this can hurt the Vinsmoke. So that's handled.
So
that's handled.
like
even
super
though
hard candy.
Yeah. Though it's weird because like I guess the idea is that Sanji was said that he's a normal human being in the flashback, but I don't know if that pertains to this fucking exoskeleton. Does he have an exoskeleton or does he not? He looks normal. No one's ever commented on it. I don't know. I'm weirded out by this whole thing.
If he has an endoskeleton, it would make sense how he has a big old strong leg. But even then, I don't know. Normal people can be really strong.
I'm just saying, if it turns out that Sanji has some sort of weird exoskeleton, I'm gonna lose my fucking shit because he clearly does not have an exoskeleton, and that would have come up at some point.
Maybe it's completely clear and you can't see it.
It's invisible, yeah, I guess. When the boys are roughhousing, you'd think that would be they'd be like, "Why are you so hard, Sanji?" Okay, whatever. Spending too long on this. But the one point I wanted to make
on this, Sanji?
Oh God, the point I wanted to make was that, there's emphasis put on this gun with their candy-jacketed bullets that can, fucking kill a Vinsmoke. And apparently was the thing that shot Reiju. Still don't know why Reiju was bleeding. I guess Pudding did it to her, or whatever.
Well, I think she got shot in the leg. That's what they're implying.
I guess. And now the Slime Boys hold, or whatever. But I'm wondering, because, like... Well, this is the whole thing. This gun is, I would assume they're putting emphasis on it because it's the thing that's going to be used to, supposedly assassinate Sanji.
And all the Vinsmokes, yeah.
Like, the only person who needs this gun is Pudding because she's weak. The Big Mom pirates do not need like a fancy gun to fuck up, the Vinsmokes and their iron bodies. I'm sure they'll be fine. That's not going to be an issue for them.
Well,
it's nice this gun seems only relevant. This gun seems only relevant to hurting Sanji. So like, does he have an exoskeleton or not? Because if not, you could just use a normal gun. So you see why I'm a little confused as to what's going on here. Let's move on. This is fucking freaking me out. I'm losing it.
All right. Well, we got introduction of the carpet and the jelly boy.
I think we already got introduced to them before, though? It's like
Maybe.
a second introduction.
I forgot
though.
their names. So Nitro and Rabian are pretty cool guys.
Me too.
And then Pudding is,
I guess they're
doing her
whatever.
like dumb faces, like, haha, I'm making fun of Sanji even more. It's like if Sanji were here, whoa, wouldn't he be really sad if he could hear and see me doing all this stuff, insulting him?
Right, she's basically just making fun of Sanji here. And by the way, her face is like the reference to the now fairly famous meme of the One Piece like face that's been done by Jinbei, Robin a little bit, Eneru was the big one, and Perona did it too. I think those are the guys who mostly did it. But it'll come up.
Wait,
more.
which one do
People
you
do
mean?
it. Oh, also Sugar. Well, there was that face that when Luffy was not able to be hurt by Eneru's lightning, Eneru did a very specific face that took up the entirety of a page, and it was glorious.
Oh, it's just the big tongue coming. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it's specifically bulgy eyes with like weird, eyes, and then the tongue comes out, and the mouth is huge, and like we've seen that face a few times.
That was just. It wasn't like a specific meme face. It was just like a funny face that lots of characters did all the time. Like Usopp started it, I feel.
Sure, but it's become a meme to us, the readers, because it's clearly the same face each time. Like Perona, Eneru, and Jinbei all did that face.
Like the good old cartoons.
And Sugar too, also Sugar.
Tom and Jerry. I don't know.
Okay, well maybe, I don't know, whatever. I don't need to get into a big fight with you about it.
I'll kill you.
Unless you want. I'll kill you about this face. So she's making fun of Sanji, and he's listening. He's just listening.
Yeah, he's listening.
Poor boy.
At this point, I was reading. I'm thinking, is he gonna cry, or is he gonna do what we thought and just be like, I know what's going on, really?
Remember I said last time, folks, like, pay attention to what Sanji does this chapter, because that's going to decide it. We know he can see the true hearts of women. This is an established power that he has. So, I'm just, and if that turns out to be wrong, then I'm just gonna have to call bullshit because we know he has this power. But
well, the thing about this is that he appears to be like crying and actually like believing that she's evil, which would contradict that. But I feel like he's been looking forward to this whole thing, trying to make the best of a bad situation, and now he's realized that everything is actually fucked. And it would get to anybody, I think.
We're getting a little ahead of ourselves, though, so let's get to that when we actually get to that scene. So, she's just making fun of it for pages and pages here. Oh, wait, no, you're right. This is the next thing.
Yes,
my bad.
Next thing. So, like, he's trying to light his cigarette, and he's really sad that he can't light it. He really needs a smoke, and that's why he cries. But,
God, this is, like, I want to... Sanji's face here is very serious. This is not a face that one makes lightly. This is real shit going on with Sanji right here. But the things that Pudding is saying to get these emotions are so juvenile. Like, lol, he looked so ugly when his face was punched. Lol, what a loser. I don't like him. He's dumb. It's like, what is this? Stop. You're just embarrassing yourself.
Yeah,
it
is a bit like over the top. And
which makes me think that it's bullshit, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm confused.
There's a couple ways it could go. It could go the way we were thinking, like Sanji will, like, he's crying now, but maybe he'll realize, oh wait, she's not actually like that. I know she's not, and he'll do something or whatever. But at the moment, it seems like what we're supposed to believe is that Sanji is like just trying to put on a on a strong boy face and not cry about it, but he's crying for real.
Yeah, he's definitely crying for real. Man, this is tough. I still think that it is more likely that Pudding is pretending in some way. But there's more things that happen later. We'll get to it when we get to those.
So then we switch back to Brook fighting Big Mom, which is actually really cool that he's like fighting, like standing off with a fucking Yonko. Like he's not running away like, oh no, it's Big Mom. No, he's actually standing there.
He's so badass.
Saying all these cool things. This is the
coolest thing Brook has ever done. I love him so much. Like he's being a real character right now. This is what I've been wanting for hundreds of chapters, for Brook to be a real guy, and he's actually doing it. Oh, I can't even tell you how much I love this page. It's everything I wanted. Yes. Please continue to do things. And then at the end, as he's facing off, he calls her young lady. Holy shit! What a fucking badass!
Oh, yeah.
Yes! You're an old-ass bitch, Brook, and I love it!
Yeah.
It's awesome!
I like the fact...
Yonko.
I'm not sure whether it's actually the same place, but he's got, like, a crack in his skull, so obviously he's been fighting a little bit. And
Yeah,
it looks like the same place the crack was, like, in Thriller Bark, where he got beat up. So I feel like that's,
probably.
like, there's a fracture there.
A weakness.
And he keeps covering it up with bone
Milk.
cream.
And super glue. Yeah, hey, possible. And by the way, I love this panel of Big Mom standing there menacingly with, don't tell me, Prometheus and Zeus. Nailed it every time I've got it so far. Her two clouds. They finally look scary, and it's awesome. They still look cute, kind of, and funny, but also terrifying.
They look goofy, terrifying. It's a One Piece.
It's a One Piece
It's
exclusive.
a One Piece exclusive face. You can't be goofy and terrifying anywhere else.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. Oh, I love this whole scene. But I mean, the gist of it is, she's just like, "Did you really think you could steal my fucking poneglyph, bitch?" And he's like, "Yes, I did, you old ass bitch." And then they just face off.
It's the coolest.
Did she say that she wants to add him? It's always been mentioned that they want to put him in this collection she's got. I think she's just mad.
I don't know whether she'd mentioned it. I think we just assumed that might happen if he gets captured or something.
Yeah. But I think, she's just talking about this situation. Oh, this is good stuff. Can't wait to see more. We'll see. We'll see.
And then
but I did notice on the back of Brook there, I was always wondering how the copy of the poneglyph would be made, really. But I see on Brook's back, he's got kind of like what looks like a roll of paper. So I'm guessing that's going to be involved somehow.
Yeah, they're talking about copying the slab. So he's obviously not going to take the whole thing.
Right. Okay, so we can establish that now. He's trying to make a copy. We know that now. That's good. Makes sense.
And then we're going back to the mirror world. Brule is woken up and is being tickled into...
She's woke, dog. She is woke.
And she's been tickled by Carrot into telling them where the castle is.
Which is very sexy, by the way. I want Carrot to tickle me.
Yes. And then he says, "Ask the mirrors," and then they do, and then the mirrors are like, "Oh yeah, I'll tell you where I go."
Everything that happens in this mirror world is like incredibly straightforward. Ah, you're tickling me. Just ask the mirrors where to go. Hey, mirrors, where do we go? Oh, go right here. Done. End of scene.
Yeah, now we can establish that these guys know how to get around by asking the mirrors, and it's, there's not really much to say about it.
This Chopper subplot has been such a series of checkboxes and like nothing else. So cool. Done. We've established their usage now. Yes. Excellent. The only thing I like about this mirror world thing is, I mean, the place looks cool, but I like Diesel. Fucking Diesel. He's my favorite guy.
I do hope that it's not going to stay straightforward like the way we have thought, like, oh, they're going to use the mirrors to bring characters to and from areas to save them and such, but... Yeah. Like
I'll be satisfied.
It'd be interesting if, like, one of the bad guys gets in there and then... Yeah, he goes through the mirrors, I don't know.
If they just straightforwardly use the mirrors, I will call that a massive failure. Because, like, it could have just been like a little secret passage. There would be no reason for there to have been a whole fucking mirror world for what we've seen so far. So,
yeah, the mirror world itself,
I think Oda will deliver still. We'll see.
The mirror world itself has not really been fleshed out in any sort of way. It's just a big, long corridor with weird walls and mirrors on it. And it's a cool aesthetic thing, but, like... it really doesn't need to exist as a mirror world if nothing
I can see in the future
really happens.
I can see in the future some like crazy Escher-esque scenes, of like the infinite staircase rooms, of like in that world of like Sanji chasing Pudding or some like dramatic scene happening in there. I think we'll see something like that before this arc is over. And incidentally, by the way, I really love how Big Mom uses like her fruit. Like I said way back, she uses her fruit and her kids' fruits and powers in various ways as just like part of the architecture of Totland and her empire. Really like that stuff. So just I hope that pays off in a cool way, and we'll see.
One thing I'm wondering about Brule, the mirror world. She didn't make it, did she? She's just has the ability to travel between it. Because these are all mirrors that are in like Totland. They don't lead anywhere else, do they?
Well, okay, we're getting into parallel universe territory, and you can speculate a lot on like whether or not parallel universes always existed, or if divergent timelines create them, including such a thing as eating this magical fruit, which makes them exist. So it's hard to say what the case may be.
It would be
interesting that her power makes it.
If this stays like a straightforward thing, but then it comes back in another arc, like the mirror world, and then there's all these other worlds.
You know what I did think was interesting, though? It was specifically mentioned that her power gives her access to, like, all of I think just of Whole Cake Island, I think was specifically said. So I think they were careful to like limit it. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it applies to just the local area or if there is just a mirror world everywhere that could be accessed by the person with this power. I don't know, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Yeah. Then we cut back to Sanji standing outside, still listening to
Looking
Pudding,
sad.
showing her tits to Reiju.
To us and Rich.
Yes. Very nice panel there.
Evil tits.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
And then this is the interesting part. She has a devil fruit power that we learn that she can take physical copies of people, well, like cut memories out of people's heads, like a Matrix style, stab them in with a hand and pull out roll of film with the memory on it.
The memo no me.
The meme
real
fruit.
Cool. Yes, the meme fruit.
And
she pulls out a fucking roll of film. It's real crazy.
It's kind of weird that she I'm just gonna say it's weird that she would say all of this stuff if she was just gonna take out the memory anyway.
That's what I was thinking too. That's kind of the big cloud that's been hanging over this whole thing. Like why is this happening?
If there's
I don't
a reason
understand.
for her to have said all that, if she knew Sanji was outside the window for some reason, like with her third eye, she just saw him. She saw him with a third eye. Like, oh, there's Sanji. I'm gonna say all this stuff for that reason. But if she isn't, then it was completely pointless.
I'm sorry to say it, but this really does seem like one of those bad writing things. I do not know how Oda is going to salvage this. So, okay, we're left with a couple options. If she knew that Sanji was outside and you know, does the whole, and has this power or whatever, and she's actually a good guy, and she wants Sanji or Reiju to know about this, then there's just no reason to cut out this memory because she would have just left it because that would be the whole plan, right? Okay, so she wouldn't have done that. If she didn't know Sanji was there, she would definitely have to leave it in because she wants Reiju to deliver that info. Okay, that's done. If she's a bad guy, and what she's really doing is legit, cutting out these memories because she just enjoys lecturing people like a supervillain about her plans, and she then cuts out this fucking memory, then it is... and the fact that Sanji was there is just sheer coincidence. He just happened to be there right when she was lecturing about her evil plan, because right at the end of the scene, the guards are there, and they snatch her away. So we're talking about like a few minute window here, where Sanji just happened to hear everything. I'm sorry. I hate that. I hate it so much. If Pudding is evil, shit writing is what it is what we have just witnessed.
Yeah,
if she is not evil,
there's various ways you could
odd.
like you could hand wave it away as being like,
and why would you even do this? Why would you lecture when you could just not do any of this and just like, what was the point of this scene for Pudding by doing all this shit? Why did she hurt Reiju?
Right.
And then send her away?
His devil's advocate on this.
Okay, explain it, please.
She, as a person who has the power to take people's memories out, probably enjoys telling people like truths that they don't want to hear and making them angry, and then taking out the memory, and then they forget about it. She might just be somebody who does that.
I'd consider that too, and that does seem to me like the most reasonable explanation if she is evil, but that still does not kind of excuse for me the fact that Sanji just so happened to be there. And, like, that's pure coincidence.
More devil's advocate. Obviously, Reiju snuck up on her or something. There's a reason she got shot with the bullet in her leg.
It's unclear. It's a little unclear right now.
She tied her up and she beat her or whatever. Reiju has been stopped, and now that she's incapacitated, she's like, well, you thought you had it won over on me, but fuck you and your whole family, bitch. Sanji's a little cuck boy, and I'm gonna throw him in the trash. And I can't tell you that. I'll just get rid of that. It's just sort of in the moment.
Okay.
It could have been.
I mean, right now we don't know how exactly this situation came to be. We don't know how Reiju got here. Hey, if it turns out that Reiju, if Reiju was like spying on Pudding and found out evidence of like this plot in some way, and that's why Pudding has now captured her. And since she already knows, she thought she would just lecture her and like, this is what you get. Yes, I'm evil. You were right, but I'm gonna cut out your memories. So fuck you, bitch. if that's what's going on, that's not as
so
bad. That's not as bad.
It's not really, it's not like confirmed shit writing just yet.
Yeah. But the Sanji overhearing thing, I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but it's a pretty fucking big coincidence. But I don't know.
I
guess
assumed it
it's
was
not
a big
as bad.
coincidence. Like, I was thinking, oh, maybe putting Nose Sanji's there. But
Yeah, that was
there
the
was
only
no
thing
indication that she did, and it was like, well, why do I
And if that
think
was true, then, like, did she orchestrate to have Sanji want to give her a lunch and come
Yeah.
bring her a special... Like, no, that's unreasonable. So, okay, it seems like it's pretty clear that Sanji was there randomly and just happened over here. So, whatever, okay, one thing that's a little bit of a stretch, but that's not... If the rest of this stuff that you've been saying is true, not so bad. Not so bad.
Then we cut back to the prisoner's library where Luffy is really,
Oh, yes.
really
Oh, by the way, and
spinning
Sanji has dropped his flowers tragically, and he's
Aw.
ran away. He went off to cry.
Poor
Or maybe do
flowers.
something. We'll see.
Maybe
Yeah,
he'll
but anyway, sorry.
kick a guy.
Twice.
Yes, and yes.
One with each
so,
foot.
Actually, that's the thing. What is Sanji gonna do? Like, is he gonna
Yeah,
tell?
I mean, is he going to go, like, tell the Vinsmokes? Because, like, do his loyalties lie to the Vinsmokes? Or, what's he going to do? He's the wild card right now.
yeah,
Whatever he's going to do.
Because he's not really gonna go to his dad and say, Dad, they're gonna kill you. Yeah, just so
Yeah.
you know. Like, he's not gonna believe Sanji for one. Well, maybe he will.
Plus, his life is in danger, too, now. So, that's not good.
Yeah.
And the fact, if the wedding gets fucked up, probably also will endanger Luffy and Nami's life. So, if there's no wedding, why would Big Mom be nice to Luffy? She's one, she's a woman, so she's known to have a couple of mood swings every now and again, if you know what I'm saying. So she might just decide to fucking kill the Straw Hat guys. So, Sanji wants to, I imagine one of his motivations is to try to avoid that. So, we'll see. We'll see. Sanji's going to do something. He's going to be a real boy.
Yeah. So back in the prisoner's library, Luffy is spinning around a lot, and there's lots of blood, and Nami's really scared.
Nami's freaking out. It's
and
great.
the guy looking is just like, what a crazy guy.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's pretty interesting.
He's pretty calm about it. Oh, overall, he's not too disturbed by these events. But he's a big mom pirate, so I'm sure
Yeah.
he's seen his fair share of shit.
So then we get a bit of a banter back and forth with Nami and the guy about torture, and I'll shoot you and fucking tear your arms off. Is like, I don't want either of these things. I don't want to be tortured. I want you to chop my arms off and just stop it. And then it's funny.
It is funny. Luffy
pretty
specifically orders Nami to chop her own arms off, and she disobeys.
And then they both get mad at her.
Oh no,
and
that
that's
was
cool.
another chapter. But whatever. Yeah, everyone's mad. Everyone's real mad.
Oh yeah, and then the thing happens. The big old fish boy comes.
Wait! Before that, the
Oh.
guy. Specifically, the guy says, "Okay, here I've got a bow gun." This is another thing that's a little annoying because it's really convenient that the timing works out like this. He's like, "Okay, I've got a bow gun right here in my hand. Nami, you've got exactly 5 seconds to tell me where. What did he want to know? The location
Lola.
of Lola, the traitor to the family. Right. Tell me where Lola is in 5 seconds, or I will now shoot you with this bow gun." And during the countdown of 5 seconds, it just so happens that something goes down. So what happens, Gib? Tell us about it.
Fish boy comes and punches Cream Man right in
Yes, he does.
in the belly
Yes, he does.
with his justice fist.
Is that a different name than before? I don't think he called it a Justice Fist. Until
In the
now.
thing I'm looking at. It says
No, you're right. I'm just wondering if that's like, it looks the same as his old punches, but now he's calling it a Justice
all the
Fist.
punches are exactly the same. He just has different.
They are
names.
all exactly the same.
Maybe that's his gimmick. It's like he doesn't have names for things. He just makes them up.
His names are gay and stupid, but yeah, that's true. Jinbei's here, everybody.
Jinbei.
Jinbei's here to save the day. Everyone's favorite character.
Yeah. So surprisingly, I didn't think Jinbei would come and save Luffy and Nami, even though it's the most obvious thing that could happen to them in that situation.
Well, just so you know, and by the way, Luffy's tooth still missing. I think we're in chapter
Yeah.
7, 8 now, so still there. So when we last saw Jinbei, he was doing some sort of deal with Big Mom to leave the crew, where he was spinning that wheel that previously, we now know, they take away a certain amount of life for the most part, and that's where PCOMs is, God damn it, what's the cheetah guy's name? Pedro. That's where Pedro's old bear buddy lost his life on that wheel, losing like 70 years or something. So Jinbei has lost something from that exchange, presumably, and is now here, looking top shape, and is here to rescue Luffy and Nami. So that's great. But oh wow, what a convenient timing. Within the 5-second fucking window before Nami would get hurt in the slightest. Oh God, so many coincidences, man. You can't have too many fucking coincidences going on, or it hurts my immersion. And I know this is One Piece, and in the sense that like things aren't supposed to get too dark in One Piece most of the time. Like oh, we can't let Nami get hurt. Like Nami's a delicate, sexy lady. We can't let her get hurt. That'd be bad. That'd be real bad. No, we gotta fucking avoid any damage.
In her own hand.
Like, here's Luffy, Here's Luffy attempting to rip off his own fucking arms. And that's fine. He can just do that for a couple chapters. And then Nami, the second that Nami is in any actual physical danger, a hero shows up to save her. I'm just saying that kind of writing annoys me. That's all I'm saying. Like Nami has to be fucking protected from every fucking harm. Like, okay, I know getting shot with a dart gun is not good, is real bad. But remember when Luffy was fighting Don Krieg and got like 20 darts everywhere in his fucking body and was totally fine? I'm just saying, one dart doesn't seem that big of a deal compared to shit like that from like 800 chapters ago.
I guess. I mean, Nami has been bloodied up before.
Yeah, the worst she ever did was stab her own shoulder, which, you know, was and that was like the best thing she ever did, incidentally. So maybe it's time for some more of that shit. You know, real stakes, real physical bodily harm makes you more of like a tangible character in the universe instead of like the author's protected sexy girl. Like, she's more right now of a sex object in One Piece than an actual character. At least that's how it feels, and I don't like that. Like, I want Nami to be a real character. So let her get hurt sometimes.
We have been talking about Nami not having anything interesting,
That's true. That's true. I mean, the thing with her relationship to Lola and the Bibri card, that was good.
Yeah.
This is dumb. This is like I would have just preferred it if there was just no imminent threat of violence and Jinbei just showed up. Like, for me, that'd be way better, because that's way more reasonable and in line with reality. Like, there's no need to threaten Nami immediately, and then immediately a guy shows up to save her. Like, just don't do that. Just have Jinbei show up. Like, yes, it's a little less dramatic, but it doesn't, like, infuriate me and stack all these more and more unlikely things together. So,
to be quite honest, I hadn't even considered any of that. Like, it was just like, she's going to get shot, but Jinbei's there. But
it's like that combined with the Sanji overhearing the conversation thing, like that, it's too much for one chapter. Like, maybe one would be okay.
Honestly, the whole, like, Bogon torture thing, it felt more like, that was a fun little joke, and then Jinbei's here. I didn't feel like he saved the day or anything. I mean, obviously he did, but I don't feel like that was the reason the Bogon came out.
Oh, I totally disagree. I think the sole reason that Bogon was introduced was to interject tension that was totally artificial and dumb into this scene, and I don't care for it one bit.
I guess. I just feel like the tension of Luffy's arms being potentially ripped off was more, the whole time. That still was being, like, that tension was higher the whole time. Because, like, he might have no hands.
That's the thing. If Jinbei had showed up as Luffy was really straining and was like, could feel like his tendons starting to rip, because as we've established, he's been doing this shit for like 2 chapters now. That's a long time to try to rip your own arms off. Like, there's already something in the scene that is like an imminent threat to the well-being of our characters, and it's Luffy ripping his own arms off. You don't need to add something like this stupid Bogun thing when we could have just shown Luffy's arms getting really tense. That would be... That'd be cool, like,
I guess my point is that it doesn't bother me so much because it was part of a joke that I liked.
I didn't think it was funny, and I thought it was dumb. I didn't like it at all. Okay, well, anyway, you get my point. But so this is the end of the chapter here. So Jinbei shows up. He's going to save him. It's going to be fine. It's going to be all good. And the question is kind of like, so Jinbei has probably by now left the Big Mom Pirates. That's cool. But what exactly did he lose? Like, that's the big question. What has he lost?
Fish stick.
It's possible he's gonna die. Like, he's got like 10 minutes left of life, or a day. And at the end of this arc, he'll fucking drop dead. It does seem more and more likely to me that Jinbei is just going to be an associate crew. I don't think he'll ever join the Straw Hats. I just don't think it's in the cards. I mean, it doesn't, forget my personal opinion. That doesn't matter. But what does matter right now is what is the price that Jinbei has paid, and also what are the ramifications of
50
right
cents.
now betraying the, of current, like, he just betrayed in a big way the Big Mom Pirates by hitting Opera. So, like, what are the consequences of this going to be for him and the Sun Pirates? So we'll see.
Yep.
Now, was there anything else I wanted to say? I just wanted to make a final point about Pudding's status right now, and it's just I don't know. I'm real anxious to see how things turn out with Pudding. Is it a ruse? Is it legit? And
I feel like One Piece
go ahead.
is that like all the time. Like there's always something being introduced or something about to be like. You're never like satisfied until the end of an arc. Then you can say, "Oh, okay, that's where it was all leading to." It's kind of hard to do like a.
You say that.
I mean,
yeah.
I know it's like sometimes things can get resolved in a chapter or two, but there's always something that you're like, I wonder how they're going to resolve this, or how he's going to write around that, or. And
okay.
I
This
feel
is
like
a little
that's just
different,
a part of reading it is that that's the point. You want to read it to find out where it goes.
Okay, I hear you on that. It's just I'm trying to examine the logical possibilities as I understand them, and I could miss them, and I could miss some because I've missed some before. But to me,
I'm not saying
I feel
that
like
because...
he's backed himself into a corner a bit in terms of how Pudding, gets resolved.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that there's just a total thing I haven't thought of, and everything works out great, and I praise Oda as a genius once again. Maybe.
It usually seems like, I mean, not necessarily that Oda is always a genius, but like, people come up with ideas that make a lot of sense and would be genius if Oda did them, and that we just never think of because we're idiots.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm a genius. But, it's just, what this makes me think of, when I see a couple of cracks, it just brings me to that final battle of Luffy versus Doflamingo, where I'm thinking, okay, now's the time where they're going to explain why Doflamingo hasn't just puppeted Luffy all along. And yet there was no explanation. There was never any explanation, and it was just turtles all the way down. And it was shitty, and then how did Luffy snap those? What the fuck happened? Oh, God. Let's just bring it back trauma. Okay, let's not get into it again. Okay, so that's it. Any other thoughts to say about the end of the chapter here?
Nope.
Okay, good. Then we're shitting this one down the can. Thanks for listening, everybody. Tell us what you think. I mean, if you think this is all bullshit, let us know in the fucking comments. I don't know. Maybe we missed something. I don't know. A lot of this shit's up in the air right now, so we'll see. Anyway, thanks for listening, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.